Let's get the opinion of our good friend Trevor Matich on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline, ESPN college football expert, insider, and national champion at BYU. Trevor, it's nice to have you back. And it was supposed to be a boring week 2 of college football. It was anything but that.
It was not just exciting, it was highly controversial in a lot of ways. You had the Central Michigan extra play against Oklahoma State. You had teams like Clemson that were supposed to roll, struggle with the lesser teams that they played. It was an exciting weekend.
Trevor, our Twitter question today is this. What was your biggest takeaway from Saturday's BYU-Utah game?
Well, biggest takeaway was what a physical, passionate team BYU is. And right down to the coaching staff. I mean, we're used to the sideline being stoic and stone-faced, looking like you couldn't tell if the head coach was at a devotional or at a football game. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way Lavelle was. That's just a matter of style. But Kalani Sitake, boy, he wears it on his sleeve, and I think people will appreciate that.
Trevor Matich with us of ESPN talking about BYU and Utah. Did the Cougars do anything that surprised you?
Well, it surprised me, actually, that the defense would shut down Utah in their own house the way they did. I mean, they gave up one offensive touchdown. And the defense played well enough to win that game. I mean, matter of fact, several times over with all the turnovers they got. I can't tell you how impressed I was with the way those guys flew around and just smashed Utah in the mouth. Utah, their offense won't face probably a more physical game all season long.
BYU forced 6 turnovers, yet only got 13 points off of those turnovers. How much higher should that have number been to you, and what did you think of that part of that game?
Well, a lot, but you've got to look at it from a standpoint of what stage the BYU offense is in right now. They went from a go fast, go hard offense where they try to run 90 plays a game, and the quarterback will read one guy on the defense, and whatever he does, they do the other thing. If he goes left, you go right. If he goes right, you go left. Go as fast as you can go and get a bunch of plays in. The transition is, in a pro-style offense, you slow it down, and you have the quarterback decode the defense, and you have more ways to attack than just that one place. I talked to Stanford coach David Shaw about that difference, and he said that when you've got that up-tempo offense, the run-pass option, et cetera, there are things that are good about it, but what's bad about it is that of those 80, 90 plays, 10 of them or so will be bad plays, just bad plays, because you're going so fast that the defense will be in a set that'll get you. Whereas when you slow it down and do a pro style, every single play is maximized. And once the quarterback is fully invested in the playbook and able to apply the playbook, then there are no bad plays. Every play is a good play. And that gives you a lot of opportunities on offense that you don't have with the other style. And it keeps your defense off the field longer. It keeps them rested. And so the rub is it takes a while for the quarterback especially to learn the nuances he needs to know, not only of his own offense, but of defenses as well, to be able to make it all work at optimum level.
ESPN's Trevor Matich with us. What are your thoughts on BYU's decision to go for 2 and the win late in the fourth quarter?
I get it. Because BYU's offense was on a roll. Utah's defense was on their heels. Kalani Sitake could look into his players' eyes and see that they had the eye of the tiger. It was working. They believed. It was going great. And he actually told them that if they scored, or when they scored, they were going to go for 2. By the way, the Oakland Raiders coach, Jack Del Rio, did the same thing. He told his guys that when they scored that touchdown that would potentially tie with a PAT, they were going for 2, right? And so Kalani Sitake did the same thing. And so I have some questions about the play that was called and what Plan B might have been. I'd like to hear some answers to that. But the fact that they actually went for 2, I think tells you that Sitake is a coach that the players can believe in and have confidence in because he believes in the players. And there's so much to be said for the players knowing that their coach has confidence in them because they'd rather prove you right than prove you wrong.
Trevor, it'd be an understatement to say Kai Nakua's targeting call was controversial. What did you think of the play?
It was a horrendous call. It was a horrible, terrible, incorrect, very bad call. And just because it was up to held in the booth doesn't mean it was right. Remember that Oklahoma State Central Michigan extra down? That was wrong. All 8 officials on the field and 2 in the booth got the rule wrong, not an interpretation of a judgment call. The actual letter of the rule they got wrong. So in this case, targeting requires that there be forcible contact with the head or neck area of the defenseless player. And so, or in other ways, not defenseless player, but in this case, it was a defenseless receiver. The reason I think it was not targeting was that, first of all, none of the triggers of targeting were there. Officials will look at whether or not a defensive player launched into the offensive player, whether or not the defensive player ducked his head, the target with the crown of his helmet, whether he wound up to throw an elbow into the head or neck area of the offensive player, whether or not he did not bring his feet and run through the tackle. These are all things that are triggers that will be indicators that it was targeting. None of those indicators were there. Ty Nakua slowed down when he got there. He turned his back eventually to the offensive player. He did not make forcible contact to the head or neck area, although contact was made. But that contact, in my opinion, was not forcible, number one. And number two, that was made because the offensive player, the receiver, ducked his head into the tackle. So I do not think that it rose to the level of targeting, and I thought it was just a horrifically bad call.
Where do we go from here in those circumstances?
Well, there's some question as to how any appeal process might work out. I think what's going to happen is they'll just let it stand, and one way or another, we won't have Ty Nakua or Austin McChesney in the first half of the UCLA game, and that'll be tough.
Are you more discouraged or encouraged about this BYU team right now following a hard-fought 1-point loss to Utah?
I'm so much more encouraged. I mean, think about where they are right now. You've got a Utah team that is fully mature in terms of the recruiting process from freshman to senior class, being recruited to this offensive and defensive system with a coaching staff that the players know and they know the coaches. BYU is just the opposite. You've got a new defensive scheme, new offensive scheme, actually new offensive, completely different style. You've got new coaching staff that's trying to get to know the players and each other, and the players know the coaches and what's expected, all those different things, and it was played at Utah. Utah had every advantage in this game, and yet, if BYU had the first offensive play or the last offensive play go their way, then they win this game. The first offensive play was the interception pick six where Taysom Hill's pass was tipped off of his receiver's hands into the hands of a Utah defensive back. He runs back for a touchdown. That plays like that happen, but it's kind of a fluky thing, right? And so to be that close to this team in Salt Lake is incredibly encouraging to me because the defense will get better, but the offense will get dramatically better as time goes on and as they get acclimated to this pro style.
Where do you see Taysom Hill improving as a passer? Because like you said, Utah's defense is really good. Yet he really struggled in the pass game, 3 interceptions, but had 2 rushing touchdowns. We saw the runner, Taysom Hill, come back. What did you think of his play, and how does he get better moving forward?
Well, he gets better moving forward by making sure that he maximizes every easy pass. There are a lot of passes, a lot of completions built into this system that are easy but short. A check down to the running back, a tight end that's got a simple route. There's always something simple. And if he can hit those simple ones on his checkdowns and just move the ball 4 yards down the field at a time, stay even with the chain, it gives offensive coordinator Ty Detmer a lot of options. The problem comes when he tries to do too much too soon and they end up behind the chains because of incompletions. So the way he can get better is just to understand that the mentality of the dynamic playmaker that Taysom has carried with him from high school up until this season needs to change to the mentality of a game manager who needs to make plays at times, especially with his feet, when things break down, but not every play, not all the time, not him being the star. The receivers and the running backs need to be the star in Taysom Hill's mind. Now, I'm not saying Taysom Hill wants to be the star. I'm just saying there's a habit of him wanting to maximize every play down the field. And he doesn't need to do that in this offense.
I'm nervous about that idea that you just brought up, game manager and Taysom Hill, because that doesn't seem like maximizing his skills to the greatest. But you think maybe that's maximizing the offensive skills to the highest value?
No, it does, because managing the game doesn't mean don't make plays. Managing the game means understand where the easy plays are and take them, and then understand when to take your shots and where to minimize the potential for mistakes. In this offense, there's plenty of opportunity for Taysom to make plays running around. There's plenty of opportunity to move the pocket, and there's plenty of opportunity for him to make plays with his arm. And so it's just a different mentality, though. I look at Robert Griffin III and his struggles in the NFL. He's with the Cleveland Browns now, but when he left Baylor to go to the Redskins, he had that mentality that every play had to be a huge, maximized, awesome play. Well, in this it made it harder for him to succeed. In this offense, with BYU now, this pro-style offense, it is every bit as good as any other offense, and it has its own advantages over other offensive styles. But the mentality of the quarterback needs to change, and it's just a matter of throw the check down. We saw that at LSU. Brandon Harris could make great plays at times with his arm, but other times he won't see the check down, or he'll miss the check down, one of the two, or he'll refuse to throw it there because it's not exciting. And he just got sat down, and a transfer from Purdue had a big game last week for LSU because he took the easy plays. That's one thing fans want to watch for with BYU. Where can Taysom always improve? Take the easy plays first.
How would you assess Ty Detmer's play calling through 2 games as a Division I offensive coordinator?
I think it's been good. It's been fine. He's given them the opportunities they've needed. There have been some drop passes. There have been some missed blocks. There have been some physical mistakes. But I think Ty has done well. He's got a reputation, and again, at ESPN, walking around talking to quarterbacks, former NFL quarterbacks, coaches, head coaches, et cetera. I asked them about Ty Detmer's reputation in the league, and they would always just stop and give gushing praise to Ty as a coach, as a player. In other words, he's a player and a coach. When in a meeting room, quarterback meeting room, you'll always have players come up to the whiteboard and answer questions and draw things on the board with the coaches there. But Ty Detmer will go up there and say, Coach, we really need to be doing it this way. And the coaches will be taking notes of what Ty did. And so I think he's done well the first 2 weeks. I think his game planning and play calling will get more targeted as he learns the capabilities and weaknesses of the guys on the roster within the context of a game, not just practice. But overall, I think it's a good start.
Trevor, how does BYU match up against UCLA, in your opinion?
Well, it's tough because UCLA has a lot in common with Utah. They've got big, powerful guys on both lines of scrimmage, and they've got a much, much, much more capable offense than Utah does. So BYU, this is the game for the BYU offense to kind of break out and to make those plays that are there and not leave anything on the table because they'll need more points.
Part of Week 3 in college football. Trevor, where will you be this weekend?
College Game Day on ESPN Radio. We will be in Norman, Oklahoma for Ohio State at Oklahoma. So many storylines with this one. I cannot wait for this Saturday.
That'd be awesome.
All right, man. We'll be listening and watching. We wish you safe travels, and we appreciate the time.
All right. Thanks, guys.